What's up, guys? We're here at AMC Town Square with Chasey Cinema.
JamesShu.com.
How are you? You know, it is a busy week. We got drama, we got news, we got films,
we got
and
musicals.
Here, Oscar push, musical, 2 of them, and here's the first one. Jamie Foxx.
And her name is quite hard to pronounce. I thought it was a certain way, but it's actually not. It's Quinzon Wallace.
And Annie remake.
Yes.
I'm a fan of not caring or giving a crap about changing race.
No, I mean,
I'm just saying, if she was white, she was black, make her Asian next one for all I care. It don't matter. I want to see a good movie. I'm watching Annie tonight.
Do you like Annie? Are you a fan? Have you ever seen any of the Annie movies?
It's on Netflix right now.
The 1980s.
And I was going to watch it. Keyword was going to, and I didn't watch it. So
because it's too old.
Yeah. That's exactly the reason.
Well, I'm gonna blow your mind. A lot of people reference 1982 Annie as one of the first versions of Annie that we saw. But if you watch Christmas Story, we know that Annie was once a radio show. But Little Orphan Annie has been around since the late 1800s. Little Orphan Annie actually has originated in a poem in the I believe 1885, I want to say, at least around that time period. She was turned into a comic strip very early in the 1920s, and the comic strip has ran until 2010. And it's one of the longest running comic strips. I want to keep saying
just recently ended.
Yeah, very recently. It's been adapted into films, radio shows, multiple films. The most famous, though, is the 1982 film, which is the one you were talking about. It starred Carol Burnett.
What a great year to be born.
Yeah. And I believe it. I didn't want to blast your age on that. That's not that old.
32 in May.
I was born 9 years after.
Yeah.
Decade. 23.
23. Ashley's 24. My girlfriend. Moving on moving forward.
One of my favorite movies growing up. I mean, I wasn't an orphan female at all, but I love that movie. It just puts a smile on my face.
Oh, you weren't an orphan female?
No, I wasn't an orphan female. So I mean, though I didn't have much to connect myself to it, I just had a blast watching it. It still makes me glad. I actually just recently purchased the DVD and watched it again. Love the movie. Carol Burnett is one of the greatest comedians of all time, let alone female comedians of all time. Whatever you just said.
I said, wow.
Absolutely great. So going into this film, I don't care about anything else except the fact that they're casting Cameron Diaz to replace one of the greatest comedians of all time, Carol Burnett.
You're saying that Cameron Diaz isn't one of the greatest comedians of our generation?
As of late, Cameron Diaz has not been on my book in even the like area. I'm not a fan.
The Counselor, Sex with the Ferrari.
I don't say the word often, but I nearly hated her performance in The Counselor. I hated her performance.
There was only one good thing about The Counselor.
The other woman, I hated her performance.
Penelope Cruz?
No, in the other woman, Cameron Diaz.
The other woman. Sorry, I thought you meant the other woman in the movie. I was like, that's Penelope Cruz. I'm leaving this movie, this review.
So that's the only thing I'm worried about right now. But I know they've been remixing songs. Wallace is a famous, and not a famous actress. Not many people do know her, but she was in a movie 2-3 years back called The Beast in the Southern Wild, which is an incredible independent film. And even at her young age, I think I want to say like 5 or 6, she did a phenomenal performance. So if you want anyone to lead your cast, it's her. Will Gluck is directing and writing this picture. Interested to see it. I think it'll be fun. I hope not to be let down. I think Jamie Foxx is good too. This will be a different pace for him though. Very different pace for what he's been doing. I know there's a few other performers in the film. Forgetting her name right now. Rose Byrne?
Which I love.
Yeah, she's amazing.
I love her.
Yes.
She was in, most recently, she was in, Talking.
She's in a bunch of stuff. I think of Insidious, I think of Bridesmaids. Someone told me what she just did recently and I forgot too.
Let's go into the movie.
Yeah,
it's a long movie. It's 2 hours.
Yeah, it's around 2 hours.
Longer, but
longer.
It's
150,
it's 2 hours coming in. I'm gonna Google it and then we'll know.
Yeah, okay.
We'll be back. Alright guys, so we just got out of Annie. ChaseyCinema.com. Talk to me.
Okay. So much to talk about here. I think this movie is good. I think it's a movie that puts a smile on faces. I think it's targeting a much younger demographic. It doesn't feel as universal as it did as the 1982 version, where it's kind of fun for the whole family. But I think people will enjoy it. I think families will enjoy it. It wasn't the most amazing film, and I kind of, and I don't think it was trying to be. Wallace does a great job leading the cast. One thing I really loved is, you know, in the original 1982, well not original, but the 1982 version, Annie, in another version, Annie is kind of a girl who always stumbles upon things on luck. She's lucky to be picked up by this millionaire who just so happens to really kind of fall in love with her and want to adopt her. Annie in this movie starts out by saying, "Luck's for suckers," and she is a total go-getter. She's confident. She knows what she wants. And it's great. It's great for the youth to kind of see someone like that and not see that kind of stereotypical character where they don't believe
things happen for you versus you make things happen.
Go get them. I mean, because you know, in the movie where Annie kind of persuades herself into a situation and then just kind of gets lucky as she goes along, Annie over here is cutting deals with Will. In the original version, we know him as Daddy Warbucks, but in this film, his name's Will Stacks. Jamie Foxx is playing.
Get what they did there?
She says, "You need photos with me? I think I'm going to charge this," and she's just hustling. It's great. And another thing I really loved is the movie opens up. We have a freckled-faced redhead, little girl, and a teacher yells out, "Annie A, sit down, time for you, Annie B." And Annie comes up, so it's like literally just passing the torch. Absolutely loved it. So the one thing I said I was really worried about going to this movie was Cameron Diaz. Though I don't think anyone can replace Carol Burnett because Carol Burnett
is Carol Burnett?
Yes, thank you. Cameron Diaz didn't disappoint me. She surprisingly made me laugh, and I thought for the win. She was really good. I think they were really clever in making her a lot lighter as far as being mean and an alcoholic. It's more hinted in this movie than it was in the first film, where she's literally bathing herself in schnapps. Schnapps, sorry. Yeah. I'm not a drinker, so I wouldn't know. And then her version of Little Girls, the song Miss Hannigan sings, I absolutely loved it. It's my favorite song out of the new versions. They really revamped the music. It was really great. You know, they're really, really smart at nodding to the camera about the older versions. Like in the very opening, one of the opening scenes, they're singing "It's a Hard Knock Life," and the little girl, I forget her name off the top of my head, goes, wait, what's a hard knock life in the first place? Great, just little nods like that. Jamie Foxx, I don't think was totally invested in this movie. I felt, you know, he was there, but there's a few scenes where he is claimed to be crying, and there's no tears, no nothing, and I know Jamie Foxx can cry. Like, I know that man can act, but he just wasn't all in it.
You think he phoned it in?
Yeah, I think it's a perfect expression for it. Though I totally believed how much that they cared about each other, I think Wallace carried it. And I think it's a fair statement. Wallace doesn't deliver a phenomenal performance as she did in Beast in the Southern Wild, but this young girl in one scene thinks that Will Stacks was trying to get rid of her. And it is the most her face goes from love and passion to just this crush feeling, and it was honestly heartbreaking. I mean, I couldn't believe this girl delivered that one look that was able to deliver that emotion, and people were crying in the theater. It was absolutely phenomenal. Another thing I loved was how they displayed Miss Hannigan's backstory. So, you know, there's another film, you know, Miss Hannigan, just this drunk lady, and we don't know really where she came from. Cameron Diaz used to be part of the CNC Music Factory. If you don't know who that is, they're the song that sang "Everybody Dance," and she was kicked out before they hit fame, and I think that's absolutely hilarious. No, in this movie.
Oh, okay. I was like, what?
No. In this movie, Miss Hannigan was kicked out before they got famous. So she's constantly trying to continue her musical career. I died. No one else in the theater left because I don't think they knew who CNC Music Factory was.
Yeah.
I died. I was rolling.
That's awesome.
But I thought it was a cute film. I mean,
Rose Byrne, come on, talk to me.
Rose Byrne was very good. I don't think she kind of had that connection with Annie early in the film when it's kind of crucial, but later on there's some really beautiful moments with her trying to understand this little girl. Again, I think the best part of it though is that Annie is a strong person who wants to do everything. Very, very confident in herself, and I think that's a great message to send to everybody. I think it'll send people away with smiles and thinking the sun will come out tomorrow.
I love it. See what you did there? ChaseCinema.com/
I'm slacking on the puns. Annie.
ChaseCinema.com/Annie for the full-on review.
Yes.
And so we can get more details. You're writing that one?
Yes.
Jacob,
I'm pretty much writing everything. The only review Louis Vuitton will be writing is Foxcatcher, which will also be coming out, and you can check out our review on that. Wild and Night Museum Secret of the Tomb.
Yes. So it's a busy Christmas week, but I have to ask you this. Sony, I wanted to ask you, do you think that...
Wait, what happened with Sony?
the Sony hack.
Talking about the last 48 hours.
Do you think that Sony is not broke? No. Like financially, they're not broke.
No.
They made I think the hackers actually showed that they made $500 million last year. No one's broke making $500 million. But I am curious, do you think with the producer today, we were told, we were reading, you were read to me,
An unnamed producer, yeah.
an unnamed producer straight up said black people can't lead in a film because the rest of the world is racist.
The international market is racist.
Hearing that now, I have to ask you this. I didn't ask you this, so I'm hearing this shit. I want to know. With that type of mentality, with Amy Pascal, which might be fired for all I know in the next short few months or whatever, or let go, Frozen. With all this crap that's going on because of the GOP, the Guardians of the Peace, if you're black, Asian, Mexican, Spanish, Latin, anything, are you gonna want to work with Sony anymore? Like, can they come back from this? Is my question. ChasingCinema.com.
You know, well, I mean,
like, what do you think of this?
Okay, well, as much as I am a movie critic and absolutely love movies and spend a lot of my life dedicating it, you know, I'm sure there are a lot of things that work and don't work that I don't even know when it comes to movie studios and how things will eventually work. But
yes, 100%.
As of right now, I think they are in a lot of trouble. I think they are upsetting a lot of people from our side and others, as far as borders, our international borders. You know, my only thought would be is that they have to separate themselves from these people saying these things and writing these emails, but you know, they're getting kicked when they're down, you know, and the thing is, you know, first, you know, people were talking, asked me about that article, and they were saying, you know, what actor from the black community would want to go and work with them now, you know, especially that kind of mentality, and especially if they kept that person around and then, you know, discipline them for that kind of statement. And then I said, well, why just black? Why would any race, no matter who, want to go work with them now that the fact that they're that racist kind of thought process is there? A lot of people are arguing that it wasn't racist because it wasn't saying anything racist, but that the other people were racist. But at the same time, like, to just kind of classifying people by race and worrying about that, I think there's a major red flag there. There's something
it's just
wrong.
Not PC.
No, it's not. It's not okay. It's not even that PC. It's just not right. I mean, and I don't know.
No, in the terms of if you're going to say that, you don't need to say black people. Like, you don't need to say that. It's that because
there was a
there's truth to what truth meaning. So that we understand.
Statistics.
Yeah, they're saying statistically, but he didn't even say it like that. Which I think some people also, in the defense of Sony, that some people just don't hear that. But that is the truth, though.
I think that there's some statistics all back that up, but then it also kind of leads to the question, well, why not be the studio that changes that? Why not get these actors to, you know, to get the opportunity? I mean, so it all kind of goes back to opportunity and things like that. Honestly, after that statement, not many people have talked about that. I haven't seen many people bring that conversation up yet. Because I think
wasn't that just released, though?
Yeah, very new.
We gotta give it time, brother.
Yeah, we gotta give it time, but a lot of people aren't really catching on to all these emails. I mean, a lot of people know Sony got pulled. A lot of people know they got hacked. Yeah. But the news isn't really covering all the small stuff that's getting leaked.
Just the interviews.
Yeah.
Interview. I'm kind of curious, though.
I think Sony's just in finish answering your question. Sorry, but I think Sony's just in really hot water right now, and they need to figure out how to turn it around. And how, I have no idea.
I'm very curious what's gonna happen to Sony Pictures after this. I'm not the type of guy that thinks it's gonna go bankrupt or anything like that, but I'm very curious. Like, they're already not doing well financially.
Yeah, they're not doing well financially speaking, in the sense of other studios and what they're licensing to.
Like Last Place.
Projecting.
Yeah, they're not doing well in that sense. So it's very interesting.
And this is already the same company that's that's already talked about rebooting another Spider-Man series. Like, it just kind of, you know, it's kicking them all down.
Can you imagine, film lovers community? Film lovers, can you imagine if they give us another reboot of him going through high school and a spider biting him? Oh my god.
If I was, you know, that's the thing though, I wouldn't be in charge of Sony. But if I was in charge of Sony, you know, the best thing to do is if you're going to reboot Spider-Man, is do something completely different. Change all the rules, change what we know about Spider-Man, and make him a totally different character, and surprise the hell out of everyone in that theater. But nonetheless, if that movie gets to be made, I don't know. As of right now, with everything going on, I kind of already talked about what I think Sony should do with the interview, but I don't know.
And if you missed that, check out our other video from Night at the Museum 3, and you can actually hear more of this conversation on Sony also outside of the review. But I want to say one thing, and then we'll move on because we gotta go back to the movie theater to watch the movie.
Yes.
I am gonna pray though, and I'm not even kidding with this. I'm actually going to pray that they don't mess around with people on Thanksgiving, on Christmas. It's not cool, and it's okay. Sony pulled the movie, just leave everyone else alone. You know that.
That's what I thought.
Leave it.
I thought
If
it was
that's-
gonna,
come on.
I thought it was going to kind of slow down after yesterday and everything, and nope, today
No,
they're
but you
right
know what's
back at
scary
it.
though is, but also, so please leave everyone alone. If the movie's pulled, hey, that's what you said you wanted. It's pulled.
You're talking from like Sony status or from like general audience
The
status?
GOP, leave the people, leave the community, leave us film lovers on watching movies on Christmas. I mean, don't that 9/11
Oh,
stuff.
no,
When you throw that stuff out there, just leave everybody alone. I'm hoping that they at least do, and they just do what they're supposed to. But I wanted to say was, on top of that was, outside of the Christmas thing was, it's gonna be scary because on Christmas they promise us a huge Christmas gift to then bury someone. I am like so, I can't lie, and it's because I guess people like me, that's why they do this, but I'm so curious. What else are you gonna, you've already dug this thing 100 feet deep, and now you say you're gonna give us this Christmas gift that's going to bury them. What the freak is going on,
I don't know, and you know, all we can do is
Jesus,
kind of
what'd
watch.
you do?
Because, you
meaning
know,
Sony, what is like,
because what this organization, whatever you want to call it, has accomplished already is nuts. I mean, it's got our country like, what? Like, we're gonna let this kind of happen?
they got a movie studio to pull a movie
Yes.
on fiction.
Yeah.
That someone has invested $100 million into. That's
So I don't know, and what they have, I have no idea. I mean, that's a question that we're just gonna have to kind of wait and find out. I honestly thought it would kind of all stop as soon as they pulled the movie, but I guess they really want to make them suffer for it. So
Jesus. All right, guys. Hey, pray for everyone on Christmas. We're gonna.
I'm just curious, what, I mean, granted I know that maybe they weren't expecting this type of retaliation to that extent, but I mean, like, I read that Seth Rogen was like, well, I didn't want to do it, I didn't want to start a controversy, I just wanted to make a movie. I don't know, you know, granted, I think the man's a great comedian, great actor. If you thought you were going to make this movie without any controversy, I think you're out of your mind. I think that's your first problem is, you know, you guys should have been ready for a fight a long time ago.
Let me do this.
Granted, I don't think it was going to be this extent. I don't think they were seeing all this come, but I think they should have their eyes a little bit more.
We're gonna go to what movie we're about to watch.
Wild.
We're about to watch Wild. We're gonna continue this conversation.
Yes.
ChasingCinema.com.
/Annie.
Annie, the film lovers website.